Hi everybody, welcome back to DayZ, and look what we've got here. Well, apart from a very ill survivor, we have some food, and that is very good, because you'll notice that we're actually in one of the high rises on Chernarus. So let's quickly go to free cam, and you'll see where we are. There we go. So what I've done is I've taken and borrowed, if you like, some of XML snippets from Adam's Namalsk XMLs, which include the mapgroupproto files for these large apartment buildings, and created some XML snippets so that you can get stuff spawning in these on Chernarus as well. It's very easy to do. It's just a copy and paste one. It only includes these tall apartment buildings, not the smaller ones. And one thing I would say before we kind of get started is that there are many rooms in these apartments, and they do their best to suck out a lot of loot from your economy. So it may well be worth considering increasing the amount of loot for the particular items that you get spawned, whether that be food and clothes in this case, or if you decide to add some more categories as well, to different things that way. Also, although these buildings have an awful lot of potential loot points on them, it's still a pain to hunt hunt through them for loot. It still is, you've got a lot of running up and down stairs to do. But it does give people a reason to visit them again. So without further ado, let's just exit there so the lady stops coughing and spluttering. Let's shut that down there as well. And let's see where we end up. So what you want to do is, in the description below this video, you'll see a link to my GitHub repository, DayZ XML code snippet to bring loot spawns back to Chernarus high-rise apartments, land tenement big, because that's the land tenement big. That's the name of those buildings. And in the GitHub repository, you'll find there's some pictures. But the important bit is the readme.txt. So if you want to, you can click on code, click on download zip, download it all, unzip it, open it up on your local hard drive, and you see. But really, it's only the readme down here that we're really interested in. And the file that we need to alter on our server, or on our local server, is the mapgroupproto.xml. And basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going into the mapgroupproto, and we're going to be replacing the existing land tenement big entry with this new one. Okay, in fact, I would recommend downloading it, because it's a bit awkward to copy and paste it from here. So if you go to your file browser on your server, and you might do this via FTP or via the web browser, go into the missions folder. So this is Chernarus, so we're going to there. Now you may well find the mapgroupproto. Yeah, you've got to download it. So click on the download button. It will go to your downloads folder. Then open it up in your favorite text editor, and so you'll end up with actually this entry here. It won't be in green, but it'll say group name land tenement big. And what you're going to do is you're going to take all of this entry here, all the way down to there. You're going to copy that. So your entry, actually, let me do this properly. Your entry will look like that. Okay. And then all you're going to do is you're going to go over the top, and you're just going to paste it in. And basically what we've done here is we've just said, look, for land tenement big, it's a town thing. Container is loot for floor, and for category food and category clothes, I want you to, and when we say you, we mean the game, I want to use these points as potential spawn points for loot within these places. Now, I've put the loot max as 50, which seems a lot, doesn't it? But you still don't get much loot spawning in the buildings. And you'll also notice that I've commented out the tools and the containers category. And I might even consider remarking out the clothes category, because I kind of think, because it takes so long to search these buildings, it might be an idea just to have food in them, so it's actually worthwhile hunting through. You know, you can search a whole one of those skyscrapers, those apartment buildings, and only find one can of food, which I know is a pain, but it's a lot better than going through one of those entire apartment buildings and finding a pair of jeans. You know, at least you found some food. It's a little bit useful, isn't it? But you know, you can make a choice yourself. You could add more categories if you want weapons or. But I've gone for food and clothes, but you could uncomment containers and tools. Containers being backpacks, that sort of stuff, and they would then appear. Well, they're very rare though. And then all you need to do is you would then save that, and then you would upload it over the top of your existing mapgroupproto.xml, and then restart your server, and then hopefully fairly shortly you would then get the loot would then start to spawn in on the apartments. But as I say, just bear in mind, it is still fairly rare to find stuff in the apartments. It's really just like you're searching an entire village, you know, a medium-sized village, but in a vertical plane. So the loot kind of consistency is the same as that. So they can be a bit weird, but it's something that I'll definitely do on my servers, simply because I can't remember the last time I actually looked through one of these apartments, because you always know there's nothing in them. But by adding this XML, there will be a few things in them, and it gives people a reason to visit them. Now, although I do say that this is just really for Chernarus, the entry isn't specific to Chernarus. So you could actually use these coordinates for other maps, as long as they have a map group pos entry. So the reason why I don't have to do a map group pos for this is because if you look at the map group pos for Chernarus, the land tenement big is listed, so the loot economy does know where all these buildings are. It's just that there was no loot in the map group proto, no points for it to spawn stuff in at. So as long as on other maps they have group name land tenement big with the positions, you can then just add in this mapgroupproto.xml, and that will then start spawning stuff in. So I can't remember if there's any of these buildings in Livonia, but there may well be in Banff and some of the other maps as well. There we go. Well, hopefully you found that video useful. Big thanks obviously to Adam, who used these within his Namalsk map. I just had to alter some of the usages and containers at the top to make it work with DayZ Chernarus. Yeah, and if you found the video useful, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.